All right, everybody, how are you this evening? Everybody doing okay? We're going to do a quick roll call here while we wait on some folks to get in here. Oh, shoot, wait a minute. I'll find out where I'm on at. There it is. Got it. Sorry about that, guys. I left the darn speaker on the YouTube side. Sorry about that. Anyway, we'll get to the roll call here. I got Kyle's in here, Charles Long, Matt. Hey, how you doing, Matt? Good to see you, my friend. Uncle Al and Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing, my brother? Uncle Al, how you doing? It looks like that's about. Oh, PA Hillbilly. Hey, good to see you, my friend. How are you this evening? Hey, Ron, I got your book today. Went and checked my mail. Thanks for the book. I should go get it. But it's way over there. I'm all hooked up here. I'm gonna give that extra copy away on Saturday, you guys. So, hey, Virginia, how you doing? Good to see you. You got your bourbon next to you, right, Chris? Hey, look who's in here. KRC Hunting and Fishing. How are you, my friend? It is very good to see you. I'm just getting over a cold. It's been a really bad one, you guys know that. Now it's moving up into my eyes, so now my eyes are all itchy and stuff. So if I mess up, it's not because I want to, it's because I can't see. Yeah, try to make everything where I can see a little better here for you guys. Make sure I'm getting everybody. Did I miss anybody? PA Hillbillies here. KRC Hunting's here. Think we got everybody. We'll give a few more minutes to see if anybody else is going to show up. Then we'll start in on a communication plan for your family. I thought about doing this after all the turmoil in eastern Nebraska, where I live here, and southern Iowa, and then along the Missouri River. So said, well, maybe it's time to do a communication plan. You have your alcohol goggles on? Good, good, good. I think spring's here, you guys. It's not snowing anymore here. It's raining. That'll make my grass turn green, darn it. Means I'll have to mow. Well, not me, my son. And that's not one of his favorite things to do. No, sir, I haven't ever gone turkey hunting. I've hunted for pheasant before. I like pheasant hunting. Probably about the same way of hunting. Heavenly Hill, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Don't forget, you guys, if you don't know each other, check each other out. Network, network. Winter finally caught up to you, Kyle? What did it get down to 50? Oh, you've gone turkey hunting, Matt? Yeah, I've never done that. I've gone pheasant hunting. I've gone, shoot, what's the name? Grouse hunting. You know, those big pigeon like birds, grouse. Blue grouse get really big, so that's what we used to go hunting in Washington. And then here in Nebraska, I used to hunt for pheasant every year and geese. Goose is good. Oh, you're gonna sneak up on one with a bow, huh? Good luck. I hope you get it. Yeah, wait just a couple more minutes. We'll get started here. I know Backwoods Law, his stream was still going when I came over here to set mine up, so he should be just about done. Been a few years, yeah. Isn't that funny? We all go through spurts in life. Have you ever noticed that? It's like me now. I'm older. I have health issues, and I can't get out and do what I used to do as a younger man. You know, I spent most of my life outside all the way up into my late 40s and before I got sick. So then after I got sick, I could still do it a little bit, but not as much as I used to. But now it's I can't hardly do anything. So I do the best I can with what I got. That's how life is, you guys. I heard that it takes pretty good knowledge to hunt a turkey. I heard they're pretty smart birds. Heritage Farm, Texas. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. All right, that's right. Hit that like button, you guys. That's how they get us in the ratings, that darn like button. Man, Chris really packed his freezer full of deer this year. Hey, okay. How are you guys doing this evening? Good to see you. All right, tonight we're going to talk about a communication plan for families and stuff. I came up with it because, like I was telling earlier to people that just got here, is because of all the flooding in eastern Nebraska and southern Iowa and along the Missouri Valley River. They're going through some real heartaches right now, so thought maybe a communication plan video would be, or live stream would be good. Maybe get everybody to write down some information if they didn't know it already, and kind of network with each other. There's not really a lot out there by the Department of Homeland Security about getting your family to communicate. There is that website called ready.gov. But if you put in there family communications, you won't find too much. But you can just put in there communicate and then just thumb through the list and you'll find the icon for the family emergency stuff. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, and I harp on this to you guys all the time about that little ICE card. This isn't one, but it's something I could use this as a only needs to be something like this here. You could keep this in your bug out bag or your go home bag, whatever you want to call it these days. And you could keep one with you. And each family member should have one of these. And what it has on there, it has your name on there. Then it has your contact information. It has your doctor, any medications you take, if there's medications your kids take, just simple information so that if anybody were to find you down in the dumps or whatnot, then they would know enough about you that they could get you the help that you need. So there are other options out there. We live in the technological age, and I'm just going to kind of let you guys go ahead and talk over there because my eyes are bothering me and they got a cold in them from all the stuff I've been going through. So, there's CR. CR, do you want up here or not? If you want up here, CR, email me that address, your email address, and I'll send you a link. But anyway, there's other options too, you know, of communicating with one another. They still have landlines, believe it or not. They also have cell phones. Then there's always the email addresses. And these are all great options that you can use to contact family members or people that you care about in times of strife, you know, a disaster or whatever. I mean, right now we are kind of in the storm season, you know, all parts of the United States and actually the world. This is the time of year when things really go upside down, you know. We got tornadoes and hurricanes and fires, and just about everything that can happen happens from this time of year forward, because as the summer comes along, it gets hot and whatnot. So there should be a communication there should be a communication plan in place with you and your family, you know. Say, it's like those folks over in eastern Nebraska here, you know, they got flooded out. Some of those guys aren't doing very good. They're like locked in to their property with water all the way around them, you know. They're like, I guess it's landlocked. And so, you know, they would have to have a way to be able to communicate out into the real world, you know. So, you know, these are the things that kind of happen along the way that makes us think about what we should be doing, you know. Spring is, yeah, I can see that, CR. Spring is a bad time of the year for sure. Also, you want to make a decision about where you're going to meet. You're going to have that meet location. And also, keep in mind, you know, you need to actually have more than one. Say the first location is not accessible or whatever, or has been compromised or whatever, then you will need a second location to go to. And everybody in your family needs to know what the plan is. So, say they communicate with you and they can say, hey, Billy, he says that location 1 is not accessible. We need to go to location 2, and we'll get into the code words and stuff here in a little bit, okay? But these are the things that, you know, everybody goes through these, you know. You just have to be patient and vigilant, you know. Make sure that you're getting the plan put in place, that everyone in your family or your group has a copy of the plan, and you want to make sure that you practice the plan, because if you don't practice the plan, when it really happens, you may not be able to follow through with it. Also, another way is to find out how bad the situation really is. You can do that in several ways. You can watch the news, whatever that's good for. You could read online if you still have data, internet, whatever. You could go online, or you could just listen to a radio. You know, I should have brought mine out here. I have one. It's a wind-up one. It works off of batteries. It's solar, but if none of that stuff is available, you can wind it up and it works also. So that would be something that maybe you'd want to think about, you know, because not always going to have electricity available to you guys. So a copy of your emergency plan should be in a conspicuous place that only everyone in your group knows about. You don't want the bad guys or people that maybe you guys get separated. And my eyes are bothering me. Sorry about that, you guys. Trying to think of a scenario here for you. Say you get separated from your family in let's say a flood. Mom and dad are at the house and you're at school or something, and the big flood of 19 rolls through and everybody's going their own separate ways. Well, you need to have a one of your plan of actions given to your child's school, so that as soon as the disaster hits, when that kid or kids leave the school to meet up with their parents at the designated location, then the school knows to go ahead and let them leave the premises, that they'll be taken care of. Hey, Nomadic, how you doing, my friend? Get my notes up here. Okay, and your list should always be in your supply kit. And we've already had the discussion. Excuse me, guys. We've already had the discussion about making sure that we have the food and the water and the clothing and the shelter. I'm not going to go into that tonight, but your your communication plan needs to be in that kit so that it can't be lost. Say everybody gets helter skelter and gets lost, then whoever comes back to wherever the supplies are can reach in there, grab the plan, and figure out what's going on. Can say, okay, dad's not here, mom's not here, mom's out looking for dad. The kids are out there trying to find their way back safely and stuff, you know. But you're there, and you need to know what everybody else is doing. You can get in to your supply kit, get that out. You can read it, and you can pretty much tell by reading it what's going on. That comes into play where you have to practice what you got in place. It's not make up the list and then roll it up and put it in your backpack and not know and forget about it until the time happens. You actually need to work it. You need to practice several times and do practice runs, and even you could do scenarios. You know, you could take your kids out and lose them in town or alongside the road. You know, you guys, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. You guys can figure it out for yourself. Make sure you take the kids to visit the meeting spots so that they know where they're at. So, you know, they're lost and they say, well, we're supposed to meet at Taco John's, but I've never been to that Taco John's. Well, if you take them there and you say, this is our meeting spot, then when they're out there looking for where they have to meet you at, they know where to go. So emergencies take many forms, and we've already talked about it. And we're talking about the tornadoes and stuff like that. I'm not talking about anything having to do with the apocalyptic zombie apocalypse or anything like that. If you were to think about that, it's pretty dumb thought. That's all on TV. We all know that. But you want to make sure that each one of your family members has that list. Remember the ICE card. You know, I am a firm believer on that ICE card. I talk about it every time I do a video, just about, because that card could actually save your life, maybe one of your family members. So I'm kind of really up on that. I remember Red Dawn. That's a good movie. Now, there's three main purposes for a communication plan, and one of it is so that you can change your emergency plan. Say you have it all worked out and it just doesn't work out, you can sit there as a family and you can create a new emergency plan. And that way everybody's working on the solutions at the same time, and they know what's going on. And to acknowledge to communicate, you need to take a phase that has begun and then just change it. And if you do this enough times, then what happens is everybody starts thinking in the same logic. Okay, plan A didn't work, let's go to plan B. Plan B didn't work, let's go to plan C. This is the type of thing I'm talking about right there. Hey, Admiral Preparedness, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you come in. And then also you want to make sure that you have a sit rep. And if you guys don't know what a sit rep is, it's a situation report. And you want to make sure that you pass on all this information and so that people know what's going on. It's called a sit rep. Hold on, something going on with the computer here. There we go. Sorry about that. Damn pop-ups. I'm gonna have to get something on here. So that's about it for the three things. But this big thing is communicating. Make sure that you are communicating with your family members, and that's not just after it happens. Before is the most important part, because that's when you guys have to learn. I mean, you have to know. Say it happened where I live. Where I live right here is called Tornado Alley. I mean, we have a lot of tornadoes that fly through this area because I live middle of nowhere, basically. So when a tornado is spotted, it can come right through town, you know. So if one were to go through town and wipe everything out, you have to make sure that everybody knows what to do, and they have to stay calm while they do it. Hey Jay, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I'm gonna take a break here for a second. I put some drops in my eyes. You guys continue. Oh, you're gonna put a CB in your? That's a good idea. I gotta put some of these drops in my eyes, guys. Much better. I'm reading the chat here. Try and catch up a little bit while my eyes clear up. Hey, Gray Man, I didn't see you sneak in. How you doing, my friend? How are you, brother? Man, Jerry was kind of wrapped up tight last night, huh? You have a CB in the house? That's a good thing. Yep. Stay calm and get out of the way. There you go. Yep. Okay, I gotta mosey on my next set here, guys. Well, there's 5 objectives, you guys, for effective emergency communications plan. And just to make sure that you're clear on it, your communication has to get through somehow. You know, that's why I was talking about the landline, cell phone, email. Somehow you have to find a way to communicate with your loved ones or your group members. So that means not only hearing the communication clearly, but also understanding it clearly, so that when they're telling you what the plan is, that you know exactly what they mean when they're saying it. That comes into the use of code words, and a lot of folks will do this is so that other people won't really know where they're going. They'll set up code words in their communication logs that say, I'm just going to throw one out there, say the dog got lost would probably mean meet me at Taco John's, something like that. Code words. And then if you're going to change the story and you're going to throw the code words in there, you make sure you tell the story all the way through. Don't leave anything out. And put the code words in the proper place so that when they tell you what the words are, then nobody understands those words but you. That way they hear the whole story, they're going to be going total opposite, different way, you know, from where they're supposed to really be going, you know. Killdeer Survival, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. Night Shame. Hello, my friend. How's my gamer buddy? Yeah, it's like somebody telling you to meet them at Taco John's or something, at the phone booth at Taco John's or something, and then they get there and there's no payphone there. That means they're at the wrong Taco John's, right? That's the point I'm getting trying to get across there is make sure that everybody understands the code words and what they mean. When you're telling the story, don't let them get lost in the story and not get the code words out. It's a big thing right there. Nothing like going to Taco John's and nobody's going to be there to meet you because you didn't hear the whole story. You only heard part of it. So you need to be as concise as possible when you're giving out the instructions on where to meet in the time of SHTF situation. And that's where it comes into play that you want to practice all this stuff. If you're not practicing it before it happens, when it happens, it won't come together the way it's supposed to. You may be separated from your loved ones, and then you'll be stressed out even more. So just put your plan together and practice it. Make it a fun deal, don't make it so it's, oh, I don't want to do that. It's no fun. Make like I don't know, maybe plan a camping trip or something like that where you guys could all go in separate directions, and have a game plan before you ever went camping. Just a make-believe game plan to start with, and see how much each person picks up out of the game plan. And then as you go camping through the summer and you practice your skills, start working the actual plan into action. Because the more you do it, the more the people are going to understand what they have to do. And then to say somebody came along, they were trying to find their way back to Taco John's, and the guy says, "Hey, where are you going?" You can tell him, "Hey, I'm going to Dairy Queen," and the guy wouldn't think anything about it. Maybe he would try to beat you to Dairy Queen so he could get what you wanted, but you'd be over at Taco John's. So it's pretty important, keep your communication plans and your game plans, your plans of action. Keep those close to your chest. You want only the immediate family members or the immediate group members to know what the plan is. It's pretty common sense stuff. I'm not here to practice hate and discontent or fear monger or anything like that. It's all just to make sure that we understand that SHTF doesn't have to be zombie apocalypse. It doesn't have to be an EMP. It could be a tornado or a hurricane or a flood or a forest fire or God knows all the other things that happen in our world on a day-to-day basis. Hey, good. How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. So, let me see. We're about to the end. I must be talking too fast. It'd be a good list I put in at the bottom is when you make up your list, zombies like tacos? Well, maybe we better go to Dairy Queen then. Do they like cheeseburgers too? So here's a simple list, basically, of what you could do. This is only, I'm just going to throw it out there. You don't have to use it, but it might be something to jar your brain process. Is you could have it in the game plan, who is to meet where, Maybe the kids are smaller. Some of the kids are smaller, and they're going to be going with their bigger brothers or sisters. So, who is to meet where? That could be part of the plan. Or what is another one? what are you supposed to bring with you? You know, each person should probably bring something with them. It'd be like a bug out thing, you know. Yeah, you could use the bug out or bug in, bug out, however you want to put it. You know, you could use that scenario, but you know, everybody should have something that they're going to bring, you know, to meet at the location. And then, uh, what would be your accomplishment when you meet? What would you do after you get to the meet place? These are things that you need to have in the plan. Okay, we got everybody together. Now what? Okay, think about that. And then another one is, what is the general location of where you're supposed to be at? You know, it could be that you're like I told you this. I already told you this earlier. What if you were supposed to meet over here at point A, but as you got over there, you saw that there's already something going on there that you really didn't care about, you know, so you decided to go to plan B. So that would be where that would fall into place, is make sure everybody knows where they're going to be, because they're going to be going to point A, you know, and they could get to point A and say, hey, mom, dad's going to be here. We got to wait for them. But in the actual plan, you could say, if you get to point A and there's a lot of people there, start eating dog food. Well, the dog food would be a code word for going to point B. I'm just throwing some different words out there, more than what other people use. So I'm sorry. See, Entity Paranormal, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you come in. Good to see you. Another thing you might want to think about would be what time? What's the time that you should meet there, you know? So in your plan, you're going to have it already written down, you know, what if it happens at this time. Give yourself so many minutes or hours to get where you're going. How long is it going to take you to get from where you're starting out to where you're going? Same with your kids. Say they're in school. How long is it going to take them to get from their school to point A? You know, so you need to know how long it's going to. Excuse me. How long it's going to take you to get there. And then what do you got to do if there's a change? I mean, how are you going to communicate that if there's a change? Remember, we talked about that. Landlines, cell phones, emails, text messages. It will just depend on what you have at your disposal as what you could use. But whatever you decide to use, everybody has to use that method, because otherwise somebody will miss the message that's coming. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it does to me. And then the last thing I would say put in there is put in there who you trust the most. Trust, a bona fide trust person. Say, let's see, best way to put that would be say everybody's gone helter skelter, okay? And trying to think of it. Nobody really knows where anybody's at. You know, they've communicated, and they're supposed to meet at this certain place. What is the one person that you trust more than anybody else to have that game plan so that they can communicate that? Maybe he could be the middleman, you know. It's kind of hard to explain. I can see it in my head, but it's hard to explain. It would have to be a person outside your family that you trust more than anything, you know. That way, if everybody gets separated and nobody makes it to point A or point B or point Z, whatever we're talking about, then they would be able to call or communicate with this bona fide trusted person. And then he could, or she, I guess I should say, he or she could set up a meet point with that bona fide trusted person so that he, the trusted person, could communicate to the family or the group, hey, I've got Angelina here or whatever, don't worry about it. You continue with your plan and everything's good at my end. So that would be something that you'd want to put in the plan for sure. You want to back up. You want to have somebody that you can trust that's not in the immediate group or family. I'm thinking that it's going to be a disaster. It'll probably be a mixture of family and friends. And you want to make sure that whoever is with you, you can take care of them. I mean, your friends, I doubt if you're going to let your friends in on your big plan, like your communication plans or your where you're going to go to bug out and stuff like that, because you're really not going to know how much you can trust those people. You may know a little bit about your neighbors, but nobody really knows their neighbors. Trust me, I've been there. So, you may take some of them along with you, but don't show your hand. Let them tag along, but don't let them in on the plan. I mean, you just never know. You've heard about Judas, right? So think about that, okay? So there's 4 different parts of communication. There's personal communication, which is your cell phone or whatever, And there's your impersonal communication, which would be a landline. There would be telecommunication, which would probably be your cell phone or maybe a walkie-talkie, ham radio, something like that. And then there would be what we've been talking about, the coded words. There would be a coded communication. So if you got all those things in your communication plan, and folded up or rolled up, whatever, put it in where are you going to put it at? I'm waiting for the answer in the side chat. You're going to take your plan, you're going to put it where? You guys aren't listening. You got to put it in your supply kit. Because no matter what, you're going to have that supply kit. You're all going to want to eat, so you want to make sure that you put it in your supply kit. Personal communication is basically where you're either talking to somebody on your cell phone or you're talking to them person to person. That would be personal communication, like me telling you what the code words are or me telling you where the meetup location is. That would be like a personal communication, okay? There's a periodic event also. Conditional events, impersonal communication. I'm not going to go into each one of these. I have it all written down over here, but I'm really not going to go into it. You guys are starting to get the hint, the idea, because I'm watching the side chat a little bit. You guys understand what I'm telling you. The communication plan isn't to just say, I already know what I'm going to do. Don't worry about it. How many of you guys have heard, I'm going to go out lone wolf. I don't need to do any of that stuff. Well, here's my opinion on that, okay? My opinion on that is, sure, go ahead and go out lone wolf. But eventually you're going to find that you're going to need somebody to watch your back. I mean, you can't sleep 24 hours a day. And you can't see all the way around you all the time. So you may start out being lone wolf, but you're not going to end up being lone wolf. It's just not going to work. you're going to have multiple. I'm not going to say one other even. I'm just going to say multiple people to kind of keep each other safe. If you don't watch your OPSEC, you're going to have uninvited guests. OPSEC, operational security. That's why I keep telling you guys to keep your plans close to your vest. If you don't keep it close to your vest, then what's going to happen is somebody's going to find out what your plan is. Maybe somebody that you don't want to know. Maybe somebody that you thought was a good person but turned out not to be a good person. That's why you want to make sure that you keep everything close to your vest. And you're going to keep your plan where again? Hey, FFP, how you doing? Oh, I'm going to go see it then. Good, good. Where are you going to keep your communication information at now? I didn't hear you. There you go. Supply pack. There you go. See, lovely Lisa. She's listening. She knows where to put it. Good job. Thank you. Now, another thing is I should cover while we're here is making sure that you're able to accomplish the steps that is required to communicate from yourself to another person. Making that what that means is to make sure that you understand that you can communicate to another person to make them understand what you need them to do. Trying to think of the right way to put it. Shoot, I'm trying to use a scenario. Okay, so you want to try to tell a guy, hey, don't go over there because if you do, you're going to trip over an electric fence. See? Or you could go ahead and tell him, hey, don't go over there, there's an electric fence. But if you take this little footpath along this way and go that way, the electric fence is not over there. Make sure you give, Dad, perfect, hey, how you doing? Make sure that you're giving a clear communication. And make sure that the person that's going to receive the information can actually receive it. Means if you're talking to them, make sure they can understand it. If you're going to call them or use another device, a ham radio, a walkie-talkie, make sure that person knows how to use that device before you start explaining things to them. Nothing worse than trying to explain something to somebody, say, on your cell phone. This is a good reason. You're on your cell phone. You're trying to explain everything to the guy, you know. You don't know from Adam if that guy understands one word you're saying because you can't see him. You're talking to him over a cell phone or a landline or whatever. So you want to make sure whoever you're talking to or communicating to knows how to use the equipment that they're using. Because, say, he doesn't know how to run the ham radio, right? You're talking to him, hey, Joe Blow, blah, blah, blah. Well, he doesn't know to talk back that he has to push the button or whatever, you know. These are all stupid scenarios, but it makes you understand what I'm trying to explain to you guys. And basically what's used these days, this is modern day. We live in a technological age. So what most people use these days, and we all know what they are, everybody has one. I don't care if you're rich, poor, or whatever. Cell phones. Everybody uses a cell phone because it is a handheld computer, for one thing. You can call on it and talk to somebody. You can text them. You can email them. You can Skype them. There's different ways. So most everybody uses a cell phone. Well, if there's not going to be any internet, though, then you will have to fall back either on a landline or a ham radio. Uh, Baofeng makes something like a two-way radio. I don't know. I know a lot of you guys know what a Baofeng is. It's a walkie-talkie that has ham. Trying to explain it. They have citizen bands on them. Yeah, one is for CB and one is for ham radio, but you have to have a license to operate those. So if all heck breaks loose and there's no rule of law, then it would be safe to use one, but I would not use it unless you've got a license for it. But you can use the walkie-talkie, and those things reach out there. You can get different models, and they will reach out there. Only thing is, and I've noticed this, is if they say they're good for 25 miles, better make sure there's no mountains or hills in the way. Because those mountain and hills are really bad things, man. They really cut you off from the world. But if you're smart, and you're like flooded out or a hurricane, you could shimmy up a tree or go up on top of a hill, something like that to get out. That would be no big deal. Are you leaving, Night Shame? Thanks for coming in, my friend. I really appreciate it. You're aces in my book, bud. Okay, coded communication. I know we beat this up. But that is probably the easiest way to communicate without letting anybody really know what you're talking about. What was the name of that movie where they let the Indians talk? They used their language to code messages. See, so coded messages have been around for a very long time. And it wouldn't really take too much for people to get a coded message put together. I mean, it could be anything. As long as your whole family or anybody in your group or family understood. You could make up a whole story of nothing but code words. That would be kind of interesting, huh? Tell a story, and the whole story is actually telling you where to go and where to meet up. That would be a good code word setup right there. Hey, Kaylin, how you doing? I saw you sneak in the cat door. How are you tonight? All right, any questions from you guys? So as you see, I'm talking to you guys about this. I deem it pretty important with all the stuff that's going on in the eastern part of my state and the southern part of Iowa and along the Missouri River. I mean, all the flooding and stuff that's going on right now. And that's going to go right out of flooding into tornadoes and stuff like that, So I think it's kind of important to have all this stuff out there. Even if you already know the information, it's always good to be refreshed because sometimes you forget. And if you don't have a plan, if you just don't have a plan, it really wouldn't take very much time to sit down and make one. And then spend the summer with your family. Real easy stuff. Signal flags. There you go. Yeah. I remember those from the Navy. Heck yeah. So, this it just came real close to my heart when the people in my state, are losing cattle and they're not going to be able to get their crops in on time, and is they had no idea this was going to happen. So it's real important that we do that. We do the collection of the food, the water, and the shelter, and make sure that you have everything in place. I mean, even if you guys go to the Homeland Security website, they don't. They used to tell you to store food for 3 months, but they tell you to store food for 6 months now. So, it's basic common sense. If you don't have, what happens if something were to happen that you just couldn't get to a store? Heaven forbid, what if an EMP attack? I doubt that's going to happen in my lifetime, but what if? I mean, if it happened, that's going to screw the monetary system. I mean, the banks won't be able to give you your money. The stores are going to run out of food because everybody's going to be over there taking the food off the shelves because they can't pay for it. They're just going to go in and take what they need because the store people aren't going to be able to stop them. There's going to be too many people doing it. So these are all things that you just need to think about. That's all stuff on the other end of the spectrum. I'm just talking about disasters today. So a disaster is the easy one to plan for. Make sure that you have a communication plan in place, and you're going to keep it in your food supply kit because you're never going to lose it there because you're always going to be wanting your food. Pretty darn easy stuff. All right, I'll take some questions. Got about 10 minutes left. I'm just going to stop it there. I have a few more notes, but not very many. There, we could go into contingency plans and stuff. I would rather you guys just start thinking about putting a communication plan together to make sure that if something were to happen, a fire or a flood or a hurricane or anything else that would separate you from your family members or anybody close to you, a group of people that are close to you, make sure that you have a way to communicate with them and be able to round everybody up. That's the big thing for tonight's live stream, is to make sure that everybody has a communication plan written down, not up here, written down, and practice it. I mean, practice it during the summer. I mean, practice it in the winter if you want, but practice it in the summer. Go camping. Go out and get lost on purpose and see if you can make the communication plan work. Solar panel would be a good idea for sure. Harbor Freight sells a cheap one. They're not really good ones, but they would work. And they're also inexpensive, You don't have to have the best of everything, You can go out and just get what you need to get by. That's another thing that I was in this other stream before I came for my live stream. And one of the guys on that panel really came up with a good one. He was kind of whining. Some of you guys were in that stream. I know you were. But you guys were listening to that guy talk about all the preppers these days that are wearing all the bling and stuff and have to have the best of everything of the gear. And, that's not really how it has to be. I agree with that guy 100%. Is the prepping community on YouTube anyway thinks that they have to have all the best stuff. I mean, you don't really have to have all the best stuff. It would be nice to have the best stuff, but not everybody can afford the best stuff. So if you can't afford the best stuff, what do? You go out and you learn the skills that you need to do it without buying the best stuff. I have all I need to be able to get home if something were to happen out while I was out running around, but I didn't spend an arm and a leg to get that stuff. I shopped around and got the best deals I could. Kaylin is another good person to talk to about that. She doesn't buy expensive stuff because she can't. She's like me. She lives on a fixed income. So you can't really go out and buy the best thing in the whole world because sometimes it's just not in your budget. Hey, Robert and Cindy, how you guys doing? I just wanted to say hi to you. Oh, you're moving right now? All right. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. You guys should have just stayed moving. There's always other days, my friend. You're moving at night with night vision? I used to be able to do that too. Exactly. That's a good one, FFP. Booby traps are a really good thing. You know, if you're going to be out moving around trying to get your family put together, make sure you know how to make some of those booby traps. I I would consider doing a booby trap live stream and possibly put some booby traps together that I could show you that are real easy. I have one that I just throw in my backpack because it's real easy. It cost me a whole whopping $10 to make. But if anybody came wandering into my camp or anything, not only would I know they're there, everybody in the whole darn campground would know they're there, you know. I don't know if Ron's still in here, but Ron sent me a, a copy of his book. It tells you how to grow uh, great fruit and food in your garden, how to mix up the best dirt, stuff that they like to eat the best, just a little bit of everything in there. And it's supposed to be, it is, I've started it today. So far, it is a very good book. I'm gonna I'm gonna be giving that away at my Saturday live stream. So if you guys would be interested in winning that book on my drawing, you need to be at my live stream on Wednesday. That's how I get the names for the live stream on Saturday. But I'm going to be giving away that book on Saturday. So if you'd be interested in getting that book so that you could grow a decent garden or learn something how to make your garden grow better, that would be a good book to have. It's on sale at Amazon. If you don't want to come to the live stream, I'm not going to twist your arm. It is on sale at Amazon.com. I wish I had that book over here so I could show it to you. Hold on, I'm going to get it. Hold on. I'm in a small space here. I'm in a very small space right here. So, all right. This is the book right here, The Green Wizard's Guide. It's by Ron Neitzel. It has he's got Green Wizard lawn beautification. He's got navigating temperatures. What else? Telling you how to use azimite, glacier rock dust, mineral potions. A lot of good stuff in here. And I'm going to be giving this book away on Saturday. So if that's something you guys might want, you have it. Yeah, it's a good book. Ron's book. Yeah, that's right, FFP. That is Ron Neitzel. See right down here. Ron Neitzel. It's a good book. Yeah. Olives and oranges. All right. Anything else from you guys? FFP says his book works, you guys. Today's Monday, Wednesday live stream. Come stick your head in, say hi, get your name on the list. Maybe you can win the book on Saturday night. Get to know your weapons, absolutely. That could be another live stream. You willing to come on the panel, Gray Man, and tell us about them? Thanks, CR. I appreciate that a lot. Was a very good stream tonight. I appreciate you guys totally a whole bunch. The best thing about knowing your guns, Great Man, is make sure you have somebody in the group that's good with guns. One or two guys even, like you and Chris could be in the group and you guys could be the gun guys. You're going to leave it up to me. I'm not an expert. That's why I ask you. Mo Mello, hey, how are you doing, my friend? Taco John's? We have Taco John's here. I had never seen one for years until I moved here, and then I say, man, I hadn't seen Taco John's forever, but there it was right in front of me. Okay, I know I didn't get everybody in here that was here tonight because I was trying to get a lot of that information out there as much as I could, and I still ran out of time. But we can do another one another time. I want to really thank everybody for coming in tonight. I can't believe my eyes held up. Those drops did the trick. You know where a Taco John's is, Kaylin? All right, night. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Anything else before I shut the thing off? It was a terrific stream, you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming by. See you at Taco Bell, Killdeer. Hey, Jim. Sorry I missed you coming in. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming.